Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like I'm doing quite a few pregnancy story times, but it's a part of my pregnancy diaries and it's a part of my journey. So if some of you guys can relate, I always like comments and I read my comments, except sometimes I don't get all of my comments. Just so you guys know, if I don't respond or you ask me a question and I don't respond, sometimes I don't get all the comments sent to me for some reason. And I'm going through videos sometimes and I'm like, oh, someone left a comment and I didn't know about it. So just a FYI. But this is really weird for me because I took off my wedding ring in the past week because I forgot, as you're pregnant, your hands swell, your feet swell, everything just gets swollen. But my fingers have swelled a little bit being in Florida in the humidity, but I wanted to get my ring off sooner than later before I wouldn't be able to get it off and I would have had to have it cut off or whatever. And I find that people respond to me differently being pregnant with my ring and without my ring. And I decided to make a video about it because although I'm not a single mother and I'm not someone who got pregnant outside of marriage, or I'm not someone who I did that because of the taboo that seemingly still is with that. And I'm not someone who is pregnant and the father is not there, does not plan on being a part of the pregnancy or the child's life. So although those do not, I don't know anything about that, me taking my wedding ring off in the last week of how people approach me with my pregnancy, in some way it implies one of those three just by me not having a wedding ring on. So I like to touch my baby bump as I walk. I just have my hand on it, and normally it's the one with my ring finger. I normally put it in my left hand. And so you can see my ring and, oh, I'm married, whatever. Although, side note, because I wear a band, a lot of people don't think I'm married, which is kind of weird because it's not a diamond. Like, I've had people say, oh, well, I thought you're single because there's no diamond there. No, I'm married. It's on the left finger. It's on the left hand, right finger, yeah, which is kind of weird. So I got that a lot. But anyway, I find that people put me in one of those three categories because they don't see a ring. So with my ring, when people would see me pregnant, say, oh, congratulations. Oh, where are you having? They never talked about what I'm about to tell you in a second, about the father, let's just get into that. So now this past week, it's been quite prevalent in the fact that now what people say to me, so first of all, if they don't say anything to me, they look at me and then they look down at my hand and this look of just, oh, that's sad. She's unwed and pregnant. And it's just, and I see it on their face and the vibe is just, sorry about that, And maybe I'm misreading those people, possibly, except for the last few months when people look at me and don't say anything, they just smile and they go, oh, Now it's not necessarily that, it's more of a, oh, and I get that, I will say I get that more from more of the older generation when they look at me and then look at my finger and it's an obvious glance at my finger, especially when I'm not touching my belly. or if I'm touching my belly with my right hand, they glance at my left hand to see if I'm married, which is kind of awkward and kind of weird. Uh, because no matter what your belief system is, no matter if you believe you should have children in marriage, or you should not have sex before marriage or after marriage, or whatever that may be, it's really not about that. It's more about, oh, you're having a baby, you're bringing a human into the world, and just congratulations, In, instead of kind of a judgmental thing. Yeah. So anyway, so I get that look, and then when people want to talk to me about the baby, they talk about how, oh, happened more than once about being a single parent. And the first time I was like, oh, I'm not a single mom. I'm married. And they're like, oh, well, you don't have a ring on. I said, oh, well, I took it off because as pregnancy goes, my fingers are just going to get fatter, and I just don't want to, I want to make sure it doesn't get stuck. I felt a need to defend, I guess, to some extent, virtue, and that I'm not that girl, which to me it's in my own self, to be honest, was kind of sad for myself. It was like, why am I doing that? I don't judge women who, oh, you're pregnant. Okay, congratulations. I don't say, oh, it must be hard that you're a single mom, or there's people who aren't married, who are in committed relationships or choose not to be married, but are still in relationships where the father's there. And so the next few times it happened, I just simply said, oh, no, I'm not a single mom. It's fine. But I'm sure that would be a difficult thing. I didn't feel it. I decided not to jump in and say, oh, I can't believe you thought that this or that about me. But what I didn't realize is, going through this, even though I don't fit in those three categories of being a single mom, being pregnant out of wedlock, the father not being there for the child and just running off or whatever, even though I don't fit in those categories, doesn't mean that I'm not feeling that right now because of how people are judging me because I took off my wedding ring. That's the only difference, is I took off my wedding ring, and it projected something now into society that people feel like they can judge me for. And in all honesty, I'm just really surprised at how much judgment I've gotten just because people presume or assume that my child is either going to be fatherless or no one would marry me, and I got pregnant, and so I'm this sad, pitiful woman who's going to be single and trying to take care of baby, and it's going to be rough, and I feel for you. And it's just, I had to make a video about it because now I'm just like, so women who are in those situations, hey, you should, that type of stress, that type of judgment, that type of feeling, no, you're carrying a baby, and this should be a happy time no matter how it happened or whatever it may be. I mean by how it happened as in, hey, the father's not going to be a part of the life or whatever it may be. For someone else to make you feel bad about that during this time of pregnancy, it's kind of messed up. And I'm making a video about it because I wouldn't want anyone to feel the way people have made me feel this past week just for me taking off my ring, and them putting all this, their preconceived notions about my life or what my life is right now based on society and what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do and how your life is supposed to go. And it just really surprised me. And but the biggest lesson for me, and it's something that I want to teach my daughter, is those people don't matter. So, yes, someone coming up to me and they may not say, let's say, they may not say, oh, you're going to be a single mother. They just say, wow, you're going to scrape your pennies and all this stuff and da da da. I'm not going to jump in and say, I don't have to scrape my pennies. I have a husband and we're going to do this together. And I'm not alone in this. It's, well, scrape your pennies and wow, you're going to need a lot of help and it can be a lonely road and those type of comments. Scraping your pennies can be for everybody. I listened to what I said, that how you guys might hear it. No, scraping your pennies is for everyone. Save money, that's fine. But in the context of you being a single parent and having to struggle and all that stuff, instead of me coming to my defense and saying, oh no, that's not who I am, no, guess what, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what those people think. At the end of the day, they're not paying your bills. They're not the ones who is your moral compass. All they're doing is judging you. And some of them are really, like, oh wow, I feel bad for you, And some of them are definitely judgmental, which I didn't realize was still a thing. Well, I guess I do realize it's still a thing, but you know how people say until you walk in someone else's shoes, you don't know what they've gone through? And that feeling, it can make you feel bad about yourself, even though that's not me. But I found myself, feeling ashamed when I have nothing to be ashamed of, and neither do the other people in the three categories. Look, you're having a baby. This is a joyous occasion. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed because you didn't do it the way that some other people may think is the right way. And it made me really sad. And I was telling my husband about it, and I was like, oh, I need to hurry up and go get a fake ring or something. And no, you know what? No, I want to teach my daughter this, the fact that those people don't matter, and your confidence, how secure you are, don't let other people control that. They have what they want to say, etc., etc. I'm not seeing most of those people again, but even if I do, again, they're not in control of anything in my life. So why am I investing so much into what they think about me or my situation? So I hope that helps some of you guys if you're dealing with that. You guys can talk about it in the comment section if you want to, but it made me really sad, and especially for women who are actually going through that and having to some extent apologize or feel ashamed of their situation, when no, you shouldn't have to. And you should be able to carry your baby proudly, and you should be able to be happy that your baby is healthy, sound, whole. So many other things outside of, oh, so you're not married, and yeah. So that's my story time. I hope that gets better, because I'm not putting a ring. I'm not getting a fake ring. I'm going to just let it be. Oh, and by the way, this happens when my husband isn't with me, of course. I'm building my own confidence and not letting other people project that on me, because I don't want that to be, even if it is projected on my daughter in other ways, that she's able to see the forest through the trees and say, okay, you may look at me that way, but that doesn't mean I am that. And that's your opinion, and I'm still who I am. So, yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting and sad to say the least. I guess my other pregnancy diary was a bit on the sad side too about prenatal care, except I was able to get prenatal care, and my doctor's awesome. She's amazing. Um, About to be 22 weeks. It's crazy. On Monday, 22 weeks. I'll put a photo up so you guys can see. And yeah, thanks so much for watching and going through this journey with me. And amazing day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Yeah, don't be that judgmental person, guys. Some of us don't even know that that's us and that we're doing it, but just be kind. Just be happy for women who are pregnant, you know? And don't wrap their whole story up in one piece of jewelry that you may or may not see on their hand.